So today is the day that Jupiter and Neptune are exactly conjunct. So it is April 12th. And what's amazing about this is the very last time that Jupiter and Neptune were together in the same exact place of the zodiac was 1856. So I went back to try to figure out what was going on in 1856. And I didn't get too much, but, except for train wrecks and all these horrendous things that are happening now as well. But one thing I think that is very significant about this conjunction, and that is the fact that photography and movies were discovered when Neptune, came about into our world when Neptune was discovered. And Neptune was discovered about, exactly 10 years prior to this exact conjunction. So it was discovered in 1846, but the last time that they were conjunct in the sign was 1856. I think it's relative. We're going to talk a lot about this today. But before I do, every single time we have these meetings, we're going to do the 3 full breaths. And this time when you breathe in, I want you to breathe in through the heart instead of the head, the crown chakra, or focus on the breath and the energy in the heart. So we're going to do 3 deep breaths. I'll guide you before we start. So let's get our feet flat on the floor and close our eyes for just a moment and breathe deep. Here we go. Close your eyes, breathe in. And exhale. Breathe in the light through your heart now. And exhale. Breathe in the light through your heart. And release. All right. So I don't know how long your breaths are, if they're shorter or longer than what I'm guiding you with, but just do it however it's best for you to do. So now that we're a little grounded, I thought first let's talk about the 2 pictures that I pulled from my book, just to give us a visual image of what I asked from my book of symbols, what we needed to learn today, or what we need to take in. So I pulled the first picture, and to be honest with you, I didn't like it, so I pulled the second one. So, but you'll understand when you see it. I'm not trying to escape anything, but I just wanted to say, okay, beyond this picture, what's next? So here's the picture I got. Can you see that well? And what I think that this symbolizes is a man that is exhausted after hard work and labor. And I have to say, it's kind of the way I feel lately. But this isn't the most uplifting picture in the world, but it is a fact. We're all, and not only from work, we're just kind of exhausted from everything that we've been going through, whether it's COVID or just difficult things in our life. We're just kind of exhausted. So let me mute everyone for right now. Okay, so that was the first symbol I got, and I'm sure a lot of you can relate to it, but I said, okay, I get it. That's what we're all feeling pretty much right now. We're tired of everything the way it's been, right? So I said, let me ask, well, what's beyond that? What's next after that? And here's what I got. And this symbol, I think, represents freedom. It represents freedom, and there's a beautiful balance, male-female energies, balanced, and they're rushing out into the water. What does that symbolize? To me, water represents a collective unconscious. So it's like we're balancing ourselves, and don't forget the male-female brings together the unity of love. And we're going into the abyss of the emotions, but happily free. We're freeing ourselves from all of the things that we're tired of. So that's what I got from this. So yes, I love that she's topless too, because that gives more of a sense of freedom, right? Freedom from all the constraints and the rules and regulations. We're free, and we're going into the ocean of the collective unconscious and the emotional body. But this is a happy picture. So I think we're going from this to this. So that's what I got today for our messages from my book. I thought that was kind of an interesting, fun way to start our meeting. So the very next thing I want to talk about are the planets, because that's what we look to give us our guidance and information. So I'll share the screen, and we'll start looking at where the planets are as we speak right this moment. And then I got some fun things we're going to talk about. So let me share the screen. Whoops, that's not what I wanted today. There we go. So looking at the astrology, I know a lot of you don't know astrology, and I know some of you are very advanced in astrology. But I don't want to make this complicated for those that don't know astrology. I just want to get the valuable information out of this, what it's trying to tell us. And going over here, here is what I'm talking about. This is the symbol for Jupiter, and this is the symbol for Neptune. And they are both 29 degrees. And actually, even the minutes line up. 49 and 50, I'd say they're pretty much smack dab on the money. And another thing that I noticed that is very interesting about this conjunction, now don't worry if you don't understand what I'm talking about, but in astrology, when we look at these conjunctions, they're actually lined up in longitude. You know, when we talk about our placements on planet Earth, we talk about longitude. But in astrology, we don't normally talk about latitude, but there is such a thing as latitude. It's almost like longitude is long ways and latitude is vertical up and down. But a planet can be conjunct and not be lined up in latitude. But when they are lined up by conjunction and latitude, this is actually called an occultation. It's like they're being eclipsed by each other. And this is rare that they line up this exactly. So I pulled up the declination, which actually gives you the latitude. So if you look where Jupiter is, according to declination, let me see, is this right? Wait, April 12th, yes. So Jupiter is declination. Okay, wait a minute. So this isn't right for some reason. It's a progress chart. That's what it is. Okay, because I pulled it up earlier. Let me take it off that. How do I cancel that? Hold on, cancel. Oh, I know what to do. There we go. Okay, sorry about that, guys. So this is lined up with this chart. And so Jupiter's declination is 3 degrees, 19 minutes, and Neptune is 3 degrees, 25 minutes. The fact that they're both negative 3 degrees means that they are by declination both lined up. So this conjunction couldn't be more exact. Okay, what the heck does that mean to all of you that don't know astrology? Well, I was noting before we started that Neptune rules deception, deceit, denial. But when it was discovered around the same time, that's when movies came into being. Because what is a movie? It's something that appears real, but it's not. You go in the movie theater and you are taken away from your daily life and put into another world. That's Neptune. That's what the movies can do for us. And when Neptune was discovered, it brought photography, images that look real, but are not. And it around that time was the start of silent movies. So you see, Neptune brings in the illusion of things that are real, but it also deals with spirituality. And so many astrologers are talking about this conjunction. I mean, this conjunction is rare. It's not that Jupiter conjunct Neptune is rare. That happens once every 12 years, but it's a sign that it's in. It's in the very last sign of Aquarius. And tomorrow, Jupiter goes into Pisces. And when Jupiter goes into Pisces, it will separate from Neptune by sign. Yes, if you look at them up in the heavens, they will be exactly conjunct. And if you're doing Western astrology, you're under the impression that they're both conjunct in Pisces. But because I do the sidereal zodiac, I want to talk about that. I think in the time period that it takes for Jupiter to be as close to Neptune, but out of sign with Neptune, I think so many truths are going to be revealed till the time that Neptune comes back together. So Jupiter will separate from Neptune tomorrow, and they'll be in the same sign in Pisces together by April 18th. So between now, April 12th and the 18th, there are going to be things that are uncovered that we never thought possible. So many things. And another thing is them being at 29 degrees. I noticed a lot of planets at 28 degrees in this chart, including the sun today. Look at that, 28, Rahu and Ketu are 28, 28. Saturn's 28. So they're at the last degrees of a sign. And get this, the sun is at 28 degrees Pisces. Tomorrow it will be 29 degrees of Pisces. Do you realize that is the last and final degree of the entire zodiac? What does that mean? Well, that means a new beginning is about to happen, a brand new beginning. But the sun is what we call Gandanta. Gandanta is when a planet is at the last few degrees of a water sign. Pisces, of course, is water. And that means that something will be revealed. It's like a sense of drowning, that you're losing something. That's what I was always taught. Gandanta relates to drowning, losing something. And the sun is power and the sun is leadership. So all around the world, leadership is changing big time. And maybe even the ways of government is changing since Saturn sits in Capricorn. So what we can rest in peace of is that everything's going to change. And yes, it is going to change for the better. A lot of people doubt me, but I know this is true. And another thing is, there's so many things going on right now astrologically that can give us guidance. And one of the things that I think is interesting, and I mentioned this last time, that Mercury is moving faster than it ever does. It's at the opposite time frame of a retrograde when it moves faster. And if you look over here, it's the speed of the planets. Mercury never goes 2 right here. It usually travels the same rate of speed as the sun, which is about 1 degree per day, but it is moving 2 degrees per day, tip-top speed. And another thing I want you to realize is that none of the planets right now are retrograde. So it is a time to get things done, although it looks like the world is in, pretty much a lot of chaos. But don't you worry, because things are getting done. Mercury is even in Aries. This is a time of new beginnings. And this is a remarkable time in history. One more thing I want to note, very important about what's going on, is the moon. See, the moon, and remember I'm doing this for Dallas, 12 noon, but the moon will be at 7, well, the moon is right now 7 degrees of Leo. And what's very important about this degree, very important, it is conjunct the fixed star Regulus, which sits at 6 degrees Leo. And the fixed star Regulus is the heart of the lion. And what that relates to is loyalty and leadership. And that's what's emerging. And one more thing about this nakshatra that the moon is in right now. I hope I'm not losing you guys, but the nakshatras, there's 27 nakshatras and all the planets are going to fall in a nakshatra. And they have unbelievable meanings that are truly relative to what's going on in the world. And here's what I want you to know. Take this home and know it and believe it. Maga deals with the ancestors that have lived before on planet Earth. And I believe what this chart is giving us the message of is that all of our ancestors and all of the people that have lived before on planet Earth are here to assist us right now on this day. Trust and know when you meditate today, you are communicating with your ancestors on the other side. The people that have passed to the other side, the energy is at the strongest it can be right now to relate to your relatives. I'm serious. So use this. And another thing is this Neptune-Jupiter conjunction. That's why I started this whole class, because it means the spiritual veil is the thinnest right now. And we can connect to those on the other side. We can connect to the spirit world more than ever. So use this time to ask and you will receive. Ask and you will receive. That's a message I have to give to you. And you must believe that the spiritual veil is the thinnest and you will be able to communicate with your loved ones now more than ever on the other side. And of course, pay attention to your dreams because you're going to be connected to people on the other side. And here is something that came to me in meditation today I also got it a little help from an astrology book, but I kept getting that. Here is the message. And this is why I told everyone to focus on the heart energy, that in your heart, you're thinking God and the and the light and everything that you're breathing comes from outside you, but it doesn't. It comes from within you. You already have that light within you. And maybe there's just a little pinprick that you can see that light, but I want you to open it because you have the entire universe within you. As above, so below. That's what that meaning says, and that's what it means. So I want you to be aware that there is this opening in your heart that connects to, well, you know, they've always said the kingdom of God. All the religions have said that. I don't care what religion. They've all had this basic truth. And I pulled up from one of my books. So that's what was revealed to me in meditation, that don't be breathing you know, everything coming from the universe in you. It's already in you. And that was kind of a, you know, I kind of doubted that message when it came to me today. But the universe told me, yes, that it is within all of us. All of us. When we realize that, that's when we heal, that it's already there, but we've got it all closed off. That's why it's so important to open your heart. Open to that divinity. It's in you already. You don't have to breathe anything in from the outside. Take it from the inside and let it heal your body. Let that open, that light, breathe it in. It's already there. Breathe it in and push it through your whole body. And that's going to heal you. Now, I have this amazing book. It's called The Stars in Your Future. And you can look up the degrees of the zodiac. And I thought, well, you know, this degree, 29 degrees of Aquarius, I thought I might pull it out. And it's a very mystical degree. And here is a saying I got from that. It says, the gates of knowledge is open to his soul. And what I realized from that, the gates of knowledge is open. What is the soul? The soul is something that never dies. We are the soul. We have that impression of our being, of who we are. It is our soul, but it emanates from our heart. And actually in astrology, when we talk about the fourth house rules the heart, the soul, and it deals with unconditional love because it deals with the mother too. So this is what we need to open to, opening our heart, opening to our soul, opening to that entire universe. Because remember last week I said, believe it or not, you are the universe and everything around you is a reflection of you. Isn't that just the most outrageous, profound thought possible? I kind of think so, but it's true. It's our reality. It's our truth. And I know this goes way beyond what we can comprehend. So I wanted to talk about, yes, and another thing about this 29 degree Aquarius, it says it is the noblest of degrees and it's the royal one. So we are really, we have this incredible opportunity to connect, and we will if we ask and our intention is pure, and that's what we want. Remember, intention is everything. So one thing I wanted to talk about and open up, well, and one last thing, and I'm going to say about Neptune and Jupiter. Remember, this Neptune is actually the planet that is called the Great Dissolver, while Jupiter expands everything that it's next to. So Jupiter is expanding and Neptune is dissolving. And what I think it's here to dissolve is the illusion, because that's what we're dealing with, the illusions. So what came to me right before I opened up this class is about the Neptune energy ruling movies. And I thought from this, we have what the planets are guiding us to tell us about, and it is that this is a spiritual opportunity. Biggest, the veil is the thinnest, we can connect to the spirit world. But one way that always helps us, I feel like if you're in a really bad mood, if you went and watched a movie, your whole life would change for a day, not for, you know, while you're in that movie, and it takes your mind away from your problems. So I thought I might share with you some of my favorite spiritual movies. And this week, I want you guys to tap in. Now, if you feel compelled to, find a way to watch my two favorite spiritual movies. Now, they're old. I hope you can find them. But I thought I might share with you on my screen my favorite movie and it came out in 1980. Sorry, it's old, but it's called Resurrection. And this is the one that has Ellen Burstyn in it. And it is, let me tell you a little story about this. Years ago, when my oldest son was in Christian schools, well, he didn't want the other mothers in the schools to know what I did, an astrologer, because when he told the school what I did, they actually told my son that I was going to hell because I was a devil worshiper. Okay. So to make a long story short, he was really upset with me. And he didn't, when they went to birthday parties, he didn't want me to talk to the other moms. He was afraid because I might tell them something about what I did. But I sat him down and had him watch this movie with me. And when it finished, I said, see what that woman did in that movie? She tried to help people through her spirituality. And that's what I do, what this woman does in this movie. And do you want to know something, guys? After that movie, he totally got it. And never, ever has he ever said anything, and loves my astrology now and completely changed him. So this movie, Resurrection, it's basically, here's the plot. In the very beginning, Ellen Burstyn, who plays Edna, survives a car accident that kills her husband, and she almost dies. But what happens out of it, she becomes an amazing healer. And the whole city, which was very backwards back then, thought that the only way that she had such a power to heal people was from the devil. And they tried to kill her. And it was all about religious beliefs. And what happened, well, I'm not going to spoil it for you, but in the very end, it will bring tears to your eyes to what she ended up doing with a child that came through her gas station. That's all I'll tell you, because she gave it all up and just went on her own because she was tired of the ridicule. But she did one last favor for the world. And I can't even talk about it because it brings tears to my eyes. This is one of my favorite spiritual movies. If you can get a hold of it, watch it. Okay. Next one, I want, of course, these are all kind of old, and I'm going to go over some other ones, and I'll give you guys to share some of your favorites to help us. But this is one of my favorites, Powder. If you haven't seen Powder, oh my God, I love this movie. And it will bring tears to your eyes too. And I thought, for fun, they have a 2-minute trailer. We'll watch it together. What do you say? Let's watch this together. But what it's about is an off-the-charts genius who is homeschooled and shunned after his last relative dies, shows the unconscious residents. And boy, are they unconscious. I think it's in East Texas. Because I looked at the driver's license and it was Texas. But so after his last relative dies, shows the unconscious residents of his town about connection, awareness, and the generosity of spirit. Watch this trailer for fun. Sorry, we have to watch it.
Wanda, welcome home.
We have to watch it. Okay, now it starts.
An unborn child experiences everything that the mother experiences. The neighbors talk about him like he's some kind of a phantom. The old folks may have kept him down there like some kind of family secret.
What's your name?
Powder.
I've never seen anything like it.
Test shows that you're a genius. You have the most advanced intellect in the history of humankind.
You took me from my home to a place you know I'll be unhappy. Wondering if you've done the right thing.
You read minds too?
Why you look like that? You look like some kind of vampire from outer space or something. What are you doing?
That's a clean kill, right to the heart.
He just couldn't see what he was doing, so I helped him.
He lays his hand on the beer while it's still shaking, and he touches me at the same time. He took whatever's in that beer, and he put it right into me. It's like I could feel that animal die.
What if this you do? I'm not even sure I believe it. If you can, I need your help.
She thinks I'm an angel. Come to take her home.
Everything we know about science, about the makeup of the human body, what happened in that classroom is impossible.
You think I'm ugly?
It's the most beautiful face I've ever seen. From the first moment, I had this feeling that you would change everything I knew.
Were y'all able to see it? I didn't know if I had this, I have the screen shared and everything, right? Okay, I see something.
Yeah, Joni, we could see it.
Okay, good. I just kind of started thinking, what if I didn't share the screen and you guys are watching me watch it the whole time? Okay, so, oh, one more thing. No, let me go back to sharing the screen because one more thing I wanted to add up here was, whoops. I have a list of movies that I thought look interesting. I haven't seen all of them, but this is the top 50 spiritual awakening thought-provoking films. I thought for our homework this week that we could watch some spiritually empowering movies, and this will help us. This is a good one, Awake, if you haven't seen that, on Yogananda. Tuning in, you know, Groundhog Day, I never thought of it as being spiritual, but you know what it's really about? That the guy keeps coming back. It's just symbolic. We keep coming back and doing the same thing every single lifetime, but that until he changed. It is a spiritual movie. And then there is one, I haven't seen Avatar. That sounds kind of good, but there's one called Planetary, I think. This one sounds good. I've never seen it, but it says didn't get a good rating, but who knows why. We're in the midst of a global crisis of perspective. We have forgotten the undeniable truth that everything is connected. Planetary is a provocative and breathtaking wake-up call across. Well, I didn't see that. Okay, you can actually read the whole synopsis. Anyway, I'm going to get that one. That sounds really good to me. But I thought, you know, it would be fun for us to lighten up and connect more with our spirit, because what does Neptune rule? Movies, and Jupiter's with it. So let's find you know, some movies to enlighten. And they didn't even have Powder, but or because the ones I like are too old, they're not in here. But yeah, let's find a way to connect better through the spirit and through the message that these movies have for us. So I love Powder because in the end, well, I'll tell you what, Powder, that scene where they say she thinks you're an angel. If you don't cry buckets of tears after watching that particular seen, there's something wrong with you. But I know all of you guys will. It is so heart moving. It's incredible. So let's move a little bit, open our hearts, and connect to this power and energy that I feel like Neptune and Jupiter's trying to give us. So you can, that's an ad up there, but anyway, let's take this off, share, and I want to get back to talking to everybody. This was basically the messages I came up with because this is so empowering. And before we go on to everyone, I wanted to ask you, Erica, how are you doing this week?
I'm doing good, doing as good as I can. The funeral was Friday. A lot of people showed up. It was amazing how many kids, friends of his, all of our family on both sides came. It was great. I do need to tell y'all about communicating with him, with Jackson.
That's what I want.
Tuesday, not long after I got off of here, I went and took a walk on this trail down the street and was also walking into the woods, and I just asked my brother, like, if you're able to communicate with me, please do. Just let me know you're okay, that you're here, that you can hear me. And I was led to this clearing, and there was this makeshift wooden thing in the middle of this clearing. I walked up to it and realized it was a skateboarding ramp. And I saw this butterfly. I had been taking notice of all the butterflies. This one was different. This one was black with red bands, and it fluttered and landed right in front of the skateboard ramp. Jackson loved to skateboard. So I just laughed and I just started crying. I was like, oh my God, thank you. It was just such an amazing feeling. Like, of all things, it wasn't just a butterfly, it was a freaking skateboard ramp. So yes, it was good. It's, and this has definitely allowed, or our families realizing that we need to spend more time together.
Good.
So that's,
Good.
with anything that we experience, anything tragic, there's always something good that can come out on the other end. So yeah, thank you for asking.
Yeah, I know. I wanted to know. I'm so excited that you got a message from him. Yes. I wanted you to report back because I knew you would. Good. Well, keep them coming. Keep those tell him, keep those messages coming. This is just the beginning. You may even feel like you're in better communication with him now than before. I know I have with people that are on the other side. It's great. So, I mean, you know what I mean? It's great that, that we realize we don't ever die and we're always connected. And it's just incredible. So thank you for talking with us. So does anybody else have anything significant from what we discussed before, or what's happening in your life that relates to all this planetary energy going on right now?
I do. I started working last week with a woman on tapping, and she had said she referred me to something called the Unseen Therapist, and I've been reading it all week, and it's all about everything you just talked about, like all the oneness. And also they tell you to watch the movie What the Bleep. And then your guy who's going to be on in like 2 weeks, like he's one of the people listed in the book, and like all these connections and stuff. I have to tell you guys, my son is 14. He was a preemie. He's been sick his whole life. I have spent my entire life delving into anything I could figure out how to help my son. Astrology, Eastern, Western, all of the above, everything, single thing. My son did not blow his nose this week from allergies for the first time, I think, in any spring he's ever been born. And I woke up after being like on the phone with this lady, and she said there's something in his bodily fluids, and in 48 hours it's going to clear. We're just going to pray about it. And she had me read this thing over and over for like 48 hours. And literally it's gone. And I went to have him muscle tested, and he has no signs of allergy or strep. And he's literally been sick for 14 years.
Wow. That's
Like,
amazing. Thank you.
so it's called The Unseen Therapist, and it's related to tapping. I'm sure everyone's heard of that part.
Mhm.
And I'm only halfway through, but your guy is in it, and who's coming on. And I'm really excited if that helps anybody. And I've never seen the movie, but it's called What the Bleep, and it's all on quantum physics and energy and all the stuff that you're talking about.
Yes,
So.
it's a great movie. I went to the movie theater and saw it when it first came out. It's fantastic. It's been a while, needless to say. Okay, anyone else want to share? That is so great. Thank you, Jessica. My sound right.
I wanted to know.
Joni, hi, this is
Hi.
Angie.
Hi.
So I've been guiding a 27-day moon meditation every morning live for my students, and I'm teaching about the nakshatra that we're in each day. And today, obviously I was leading Magga, and what you just were talking about with our ancestors, as I was guiding the meditation, when we got into the silent portion, I felt the ancestors of everybody that was on the Zoom session, and they were all behind me, and there were just hundreds. And I felt my ancestors and the ancestors of everyone, and they were just pulsing and rejoicing and just cheering us on and just letting us all know that we're right where we need to be. And it was so incredibly moving. I just was brought to tears, and I came out of the meditation and shared with the group, and everyone was in tears, and we all felt it. And so just the fact that you reiterated that again, it's just, that message is coming through again, that we are all right where we're meant to be. We're aligning to the highest evolution in each of us and anchoring that into the world. And so I was just couldn't believe when you brought up Magga and you talked about the ancestors and how today the veil is so thin. And I was just like, oh my gosh, it's incredible. So I'm so happy to be here, and I just had to share.
Thank you. Oh, that is fabulous. Oh my gosh. Yes. And I don't even know why like I always say, all of us, when we're guided to say something, it's just, there is something guiding us to connect and say what we say. So thank you. Yeah. And I don't, when I think about Magga, I think about more than just the ancestors, but that's what flew into me before I could say, think of anything else that nakshatra was about. And I put it together with the fact that Neptune, Jupiter, I think the spiritual veil is so thin. And, we're all working together with people, even on the other side, not just on this side, we're all working together. So I want everybody to know, when you feel alone, you're never alone. Okay, thank you again, Angie. That was fabulous. Anyone else want to share?
Joni, I wanted to add to that 1856 time frame that you were talking about, when Jupiter and Neptune were together. So that's the time frame when spiritualism came into existence in the United States. They started seeing that there was more to death than, just people dying. I mean, there's beyond that, there's a life. And if you look, I think that's when they started with the seances and, the Ouija boards and all of that stuff, I mean, communicating with the dead via knocks on the door or taps on the floor and all of that stuff started at that time. So it is incredibly powerful to notice that, we are talking about similar topics today, communicating with people who have passed on and all of that. So it's just amazing. And I went and looked, it was in March 1856, and the declination was exact as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's just amazing. This is huge. And yeah, that was the start of the, like what you're saying, it was called the spiritualist movement. And
yes.
And I think I mentioned last week that Lincoln used to have seances in the White House back then. And that was, you know, if you ever read all the works, I'm sure we all have, of Emerson and Thoreau, that's where they came up. I mean, those concepts were off the charts beyond the comprehension back then. And Madame Blavatsky started the Theosophical Society. So this is where,
Yes.
so the minds are going to expand even more. I mean, this is where we're going to take this to a new level now with awareness and consciousness. We may not see it so much. It seems like, you know, our eyesight is better, you know, hindsight is 2020, right? So years from now, we'll look back and we'll go, oh my God, that's when all of this began. That's just like what we're talking about with the spiritualist movement, where a whole level of consciousness in beliefs and spirituality will change, because Neptune and Pisces deal with beliefs, and our beliefs are all changing right now. It's no more of the, you know, the fear tactics of religion. Nobody's going for that anymore. God does not punish and want us to suffer, and it's not a man with a beard in the sky anymore. Everyone's waking up. So thank you for.
Yeah, and also they brought in photography too at the same time. Joni, if you're, you know, that, what was his name? Was it William Mumler, who started taking spirit photographs and ghost images, capturing images, and, you know, with the EMF thing, and, you know, all that happened. So I think Neptune played a huge role at the same time with the photography. So I you know, it's really amazing to watch that now. Now, if you see, we have all the VR and, you know, virtual reality stuff going on. It's very Neptunian.
Very Neptunian.
So, but no, very powerful class, Joni. It was amazing. Thank you.
Thank you. So yeah, that metaverse that I think Facebook is trying to bring on, I mean, that's so Neptune. And, you know, I think people, well, it's illusion. People are going to escape into illusion. And my thoughts on that are, you know, people are already delusional enough. Do they really need this delusion? No, but my point is, let's escape into the spirituality. And yeah, and movies are such a beautiful way, Neptunian way, that we can escape, along with you know, I think movies and documentaries are so powerful because they affect the consciousness of the world. They really, really do. They open the minds of people. And that's why movies like What the Bleep and all the other ones, it started, you know, a whole revelation of thinking differently. So movies are, you know, all over the planet. They're global, and they can really change the way we believe and what we think. Yes. Okay, so anyone else wants to share anything important? Come on, there's 34 people here right now. I'm sure somebody has something incredible they want to share, but they don't want to speak up.
This is not incredible. But it is honest, and I will be honest. And this last 2-3 years, I've just been drawn spiritually like crazy. I've had 3 boys that I raised in Catholic school and hid this whole side of me. Obviously, I don't have to explain this to everybody, but I did. And the last one graduated, and it was like that year, everything just started flooding in. So I'm just here to just listen and just continue to take in and take in. So when I don't talk, just know I'm just like absorbing like a sponge completely. And just, I mean, the fact that I'm here is a miracle. So I'm grateful for everybody here and everything you have to say.
Great. Thank you for sharing. I love it. And I can relate with my son going to Christian schools. And I'll tell you something though, very interesting. Once I got over all of that, you know, I used to have to try to prove that astrology was, you know, what it is. Who do you think the three wise men were? When I used to have to prove it to everyone, always all the born again Christians came up in my face and were throwing Bibles in my face constantly.
I live in Tennessee.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
There's a T for Texas and a T for Tennessee. You know that, right? Okay. But that's a country and western song. By the way, my youngest boy, he went to Catholic school, and in kindergarten, he tells his teacher what I do. And he comes home and tells me, he goes, I told my teacher what you do. And I said, what was her reaction? She goes, what? Like that. Little did I know that she wanted my phone number because she wanted a reading, and I've been giving her readings, and my son is now 26, and I've been giving her readings ever since he was in kindergarten. So you see, when I changed my attitude about it, I didn't attract all the people I had to prove it to anymore. All of a sudden, then I got people like, really? Tell me more about it. And but that was the difference between my oldest son, which was 10 years difference, to my youngest son when when going to the schools. It was a big difference. Anyway, I thought you'd think that was funny. She goes, what? Who is your mother? And little did I know it was because she wanted a reading. That's so funny. Anyway, okay, someone else speak up for us.
Hi, Joni, there are some. I'm sorry, some folks saying that your mic is not working, or it needs to be turned up, Joni, maybe a little bit.
Okay, I don't know how to turn up my mic. Let me see. It might.
I can hear you fine, but I don't know. I think Jessica's having some problems hearing you, Melanie.
Notice that Jessica was having problems connecting to the
Oh,
sound
okay.
when she first came on, because she was coming on one of the first ones. So I don't know. Is everyone else able to hear?
I can hear you
Good.
fine.
Okay, Tracy,
Okay.
go ahead. Tracy, you wanted to say something.
Thank you. I actually wanted to ask for prayers. I am having lunch with my daughter tomorrow, and she's been alienated from me by her father. I divorced him or left him in 2000, and he basically made our children choose between him and me. So I just wanted prayers. My daughter, who's 31, has agreed to have lunch with me tomorrow, which has been very strained with her for 10 years. So.
Oh, good. Well, I'm so glad you're having lunch with her. You got it. We're going to send you some wonderful energy, because there would be nothing worse to me if I were alienated from my boys. I mean, my heart would be broken. You know, you can never be happy if your children aren't happy when you're a mom. And all of you that are mothers know that, you know, so you got it. I'm going to really send you some good prayers. Thank you for saying that.
Thank you. Thank you, the group too.
You're welcome. Okay.
I wanted to ask, you said that there's a lot of world leader stuff coming up between now and the 18th. I'm supposed to travel to Washington, D.C. on Sunday and Monday and haven't booked my hotel yet. Is this not the time to go to D.C.?
Oh, I think you're fine, you know.
Okay.
I think you're fine. I think you'll be protected. You know, do a prayer of protection. You're fine. The time that I'm telling people to lay low from the travel is going to be more like August. So this time is okay, especially, and I've told everybody too, I think May and June is a good time to travel. Then by the end of July, kind of pull back, because things are going to get much more intense. Okay. A lot of realizations have to be made. So I always look at it as a good thing.
I'm sorry, when did you say not to travel? I'm going to believe you.
Yeah, I'm not going to, I wouldn't want to travel, although you know what, you really have to look at your chart to see if there's anything going on. But the time that I think is going to be craziest is going to be starting the end of July through October. But really August is crazy. And if you know your chart at all, and you know your sidereal chart, if you have anything around 24 degrees of Aries, Libra, Cancer, or Capricorn, I'd say lay low then. That applies to you more personally. Okay, what else anyone else want to share anything? I want to really know you guys. Talk to me.
Joni, it's Carrie. I just wanted, hi everybody. Who was it that just shared about their daughter? That really touched me. Really sent you a lot of good vibes that I can really feel that. But Joni, The Stars in Your Future, is that book out of print? That I looked it up on Amazon, couldn't find it.
It might be. It's old as the hills.
Yeah.
It's by MC Jain, Jain.
Jain. Okay, thank you. This whole moment of, and thank you for that heart meditation. That was really beautiful. What is it again? It's Neptune that's creating this thin veil. And how long is that energy around that we can communicate with the other side? Okay. I know you said today.
Mm-hmm. Today it's the most intense.
Pinnacle. Okay.
Yeah, you're right. But you know what? I really think the whole time that Jupiter and Neptune are together in Pisces, which will be practically a whole year.
Okay.
But now it's really, really intense. And then they're both going to come together at 0 degrees of Pisces, which could be even more, sensitive because Pisces is ruled by Jupiter and tomorrow.
When is that?
Jupiter goes into Pisces tomorrow.
Okay. And when is it 0 degrees?
Well, Jupiter will be 0 degrees, but by, what did I say, the 18th, April 18th, Neptune will be 0 degrees Pisces. So okay. I think, they're going to be separate from the signs for a few days. So I think that's going to kind of give us clarity. And then it's going to kind of come in again where the veil, but here's the thing, this veil can blind people too.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
So people are cloudy, blinded. Here's the thing, when the light gets the brightest, the darkness wants to extinguish it. So there's going to be so much scandalous stuff thrown out there soon that it's going to be really hard to know what to believe. Because, it's like, here we go again, remember this, that we're in a world of duality. It's never going to be one or the other. There's always both. And one comes a little stronger, the other one comes in more because, they're always really balancing each other, if I could say that. Because that's what we came here to experience by being born in this world, this duality. Mm-hmm. And we can't get caught up in, all the negative, but, that's where the media and, all this stuff. No, really and truly, I say our minds are like that. When my mind is free to think, guess what? I'll think of some old instance where somebody did something to me and I thought, what am I thinking about that again for? Stop. So we have to take back our power all the time by throwing these thoughts out of our mind. But that's kind of the negative,
programming.
Yeah, but it's trying to take us over again. And that's where we have to take charge again and again and again and again. It's like, what in the world? That happened, 2004? And I'm
cleaning cobwebs in the closet, it's just cleaning it out,
Right. So this is like, I know that all of us are having these issues where these things are trying to grab our mind.
That's right.
We have to, the power of Jupiter, Neptune is the light. Let's throw that out. Don't let your past control your future anymore. That's what we do when we do these things. And that's what causes disease and sickness by being so caught up in our emotional hurts and pain. That's not, we got to heal from that. And that's what we're reminding all of each other to do here. Okay.
Yeah, it's beautiful. There's a beautiful, just to share with the group, there's a beautiful thing that you can say to kind of clear yourself from negative energy. And it's very simple. Antoine Chevalier taught this to me, who's a holistic healer, and he said to say, I command my soul to claim sovereignty over my body, my mind, my spirit, in this timeline, in all timelines, in this dimension, in all dimensions now. It's just very simple. And it's just, an act of will, just saying that I am sovereign, and anything that is not within that sovereignty is not allowed here, or I'm claiming my sovereignty. So I'm a free thinking, free individual.
And you know what else? More than anything, when you say that, what's behind that is the intention.
Yeah.
That's the PowerPoint.
Yeah.
And that's what's going to give you any of the things that are uplifting, beautiful, spiritual, that will heal our souls, the intention. So that's what that saying does. And that's what I think, clears and heals our soul. We're
we
free.
need it.
We're free.
Yeah.
So if you consider Neptune as the great dissolver and Jupiter is expanding it, we're dissolving what? All of the illusion. That's what this energy is really meant to do and what it's for.
Yeah.
That's where I want to go with all of this. I'm tired of being stuck in the past. I want to have a brand new, fresh, beautiful future. And I want to guide all of you guys to do the same. Okay. So let's hear from some other people. I want to get to know everybody here.
Hi, can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Hi, my name's Cassie. I live in Tennessee, and I am so happy for this group because I'm gaining so much already in the 3 weeks that I've been coming, and for me it's kind of bite-sized pieces as I'm pulling so many things in. My family and I, my husband and I, we have our daughter. We've just been going through so many transitions and changes, and I just am coming out of an experience where the world, spiritually, metaphysically, universally, just expanded more than I could have ever even imagined. And so I'm just putting things together. I've always been deeply spiritual. I was raised Mormon, LDS. I was very devout till I was about 30. And ever since then, it's just, my mind is just increasingly being open to just so many different things. And I'm really grateful for this group. I'm excited to be a part of it. And I love what you're doing, Joni. So thank you.
Thank you. I'm so glad you spoke up, Kathy. And people are, this is so exciting that people are awakening right now. Yeah, and watch that movie Awake. That'll blow your mind.
Okay.
Yeah, have you heard of Paramahansa Yogananda?
No, I have now.
Yeah. I read his book back when I was in high school. This is, I've always been into this stuff. It's so funny. And he's a yogi, and he talks about enlightenment and, all these things back when I was in high school in the 70s. People were like, I would carry it to study hall. We used to have study halls. I think that's obsolete today, but we used to have study halls, and I'd carry that book and read it. And they go, "Oh, who's that lady?" Well, it's a guy with long hair. So I just didn't even go there. But I remember bringing it home from the bookstore one day, and my mom, who used to have astrology books all over the house, she loved all this, but she was also Catholic. She didn't know what to do with being raised Catholic. My mom comes from an Italian family. Everybody's Catholic, right? So, but anyway, I brought this book home, and I said, "This looks so interesting." She goes, "Oh, I already read that book. It's the best book I've ever read." I was like, "Are you kidding?" And That's what really got me into Vedic astrology. So anyway,
What's it called again?
it's the movie's called Awake.
Oh, it's based off of the
It's a
book. Okay.
documentary about Paramahansa Yogananda. But get the book. It's called Autobiography of a Yogi. It's
Okay.
it will open your mind beyond what you are right now.
Just took a note. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Hey, Joni, I've got my camera on, but I'm going to turn it off because I'm driving, so that's not very safe. Whoever the lady was that I didn't catch her name, that was talking about parental alienation. I've lived through it. I have a 33, a 31, and a 27-year-old. They're all stepchildren. And then I have two littles that are now 7 and 9. If you would like to call me, I'll put my number up in the chat. Anybody can call me. I can help you with a couple little tips that will support you in your lunch tomorrow with your daughter. And Joni, I think you said it best, like parental alienation is, it's taxing on your soul. And I can only imagine if your daughter's 31 and this happened in 2000, you've been living with a lot of this for a very long time. So I can at least help, or at least support you in some of the things that worked with our older kids. So by all means, I'll put my number up in the chat. And Joni, I live in Dallas now.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Well, we'll have
So
to get together.
I know we're up in South Lake, and this is just for the group as well, but we had to make a very radical choice to relocate our entire family because everything went so crazy, and the kids and the masks and it's what they've done to these poor little children that caused us to make a radical move. So we're settling in. It's a process, but we're here. And I'm like, I'm just so glad that you put this course together so that we could all really come together. And the group is, it's not big, right? We're at 39, I think, or whatever the number is, but we're all here for each other and how we're going to navigate these genuinely odd times. So it's been really, I think I'm probably one of the best manifestors I've ever met. I really am. I'm like the rags to riches kind of, story of just creating that space and, taking all those negative thoughts that can come through our mind and stopping them where they're at. Just like you were talking about, Joni, just stop the thoughts, acknowledge what they are so you can change them, and just cancel. But this has been, for me personally, just really an art form, because you're not just navigating the exterior world. I'm married and I have 2 little girls, and it's when you're married, you know how it is. You don't get to say what goes. You got to compromise the crap out of it to make it work. So it's all of these different energies that are getting thrown in our direction right now. It's like, I feel like, I'm Neo in the Matrix trying to bend through all the bullets coming my direction. So I'm a little tapped out, not gonna lie, which is why I love you all so much, because we're all really navigating, and trying to hold space and just keep that love vibration, that frequency as high as we can. So I just wanted to pop in, say hi.
Well, thank you. Do you like Texas? Okay. Where did you move from?
I was in Vegas. I was in Las Vegas. I'm ready to run for US Congress. And, no more politics for me. I'm just trying to survive the Great War.
Yeah, well, I hope you like Texas. One thing I will say for us, true Texans, they're very friendly. And
that's why we moved here. That's the only reason we moved here. We went back and forth, but the people are so nice.
Exactly. The thing is that they're just nice, good-hearted people. Maybe some of them are a little bit too religious for me, but that's okay. Everyone, that they're free to believe however they want. But I think the most spiritual thing in the world, in my opinion, is how you treat other people. And when you treat people respectfully with love and kindness, that's the most spiritual thing you can do. And
Yeah.
that's kind of the way people are here. But you know, we're getting such a mix now where there's so many transients where people really aren't, you know, from Texas. And I say from Texas because for some reason, and don't ask me why, between us, I used to be kind of embarrassed I was from Texas because, you know, I used to think, you know, people aren't as, you know, bright and all that kind of stuff. But brightness didn't matter after a while. The kindness did. And I just really appreciate people that have a sense of family, togetherness, and kindness. And that's what I love about Texas. And for some reason, people that are from here have a pride. And that's another thing that brings me to the last thing that I'm, excuse me, that I meant to tell everybody. When you have pride and confidence, you know, when you come from a level of confidence about yourself, there is nothing that you can't attract and be. I was telling a couple of people yesterday in their reading, I said, be confident. You know, nobody believes in you if you don't believe in yourself and you're walking around with your head down and being a victim. Oh, me, poor pitiful me. No, when you stand up and you are proud and you're confident about who you are, I'm telling you that energy really does attract people to you. And then you have more power to help others. So that's what you led me to remember. That was one of the messages I wanted to say, Sandra. So I want to welcome you here. Maybe all of us that live close by can go out to lunch or something. That would be a lot of fun one of these days. Okay.
That would be.
Let's stay in touch. Okay. All right. Somebody else?
Yes.
Yes, go ahead. We can hear you.
Yeah, I didn't have so much to say, but at least I was so excited by you saying on the last video that Great Deception will come out.
Yeah.
Because I'm in a court case with my, for a long time. So I was so excited that this will finally solve.
Yes, you know, I want to say something, Jeanette. I'll never forget when back in the 90s, when the Catholic Church finally came up with the fact that those poor boys, those altar boys, were being abused by those priests. No one believed them, no one. But they brought up one of the boys one time and they said, you know, they granted them millions of dollars. And they said, how does it feel now that you've been given all this money? He says, I don't care anything about the money. All I care about is that people finally believe me. And I bet that's kind of how you feel, that, you know, there's all this deception and now you're going to be believed. Isn't that kind of the sense that I'm getting from you?
Yes, I told my friend who was doing my court case, he says, oh no, he wants to go on. He likes to expose all the misdeeds, but I said, I just want to finish it, you know? I don't care about the money because it's, but he says, you know, you can get money from this because I learned from you, I have a strong 8th house, 5 planets in the 8th house. And you told me, you didn't tell me in a video, you told it's scandal. I said, that's why I'm in this bloody thing. Yeah. And I have Antares on the ascendant. This has also to do with court cases. So it's going on for 6 years, but he likes to expose everything.
Right. Well, you know, we'll send you some good energy because there's nothing worse than being in a court case like that and the lies are being believed. So
yeah, it's the Swiss government who has the power against me. They use all their officers against me. But I have to trust it will all end good at the end.
You do. You have to believe, and this energy will help you. That's happening right now. I know it will. Okay. Where are you, by the way?
And then I'm also very happy you said about the peace treaty that will come. because my friend is very much involved for himself in the peace treaty for Germany and the whole world.
Yes.
And this is also very relieving that you told us this.
Are you in Europe right now?
What? What?
Are
In
you-
Europe, I'm in
Are you
Switzerland.
in Europe? You're in Switzerland. Okay.
I'm Dutch, but I live in Switzerland.
Okay, good. I just noticed it was getting dark there. That's why I wondered it
Yeah.
was nighttime there.
I can switch on the lights.
Okay, cool.
And yeah, and then the parental alienation. It's not something I experienced, but what I experienced is I found it very hard, which I have a lot of spiritual work to do on myself since this whole vaccination came thing, because my whole family has vaccinated themselves and I don't want to be vaccinated. And this has given for me alienation in the family. And I have to have I discovered I have a lot of judgment and I have to keep working on myself.
Yeah.
And going to the sauna and to take a thermal bath. This is really what helps me to go through the emotions.
Right, right. So I want you to visualize whenever you're alone and quiet, your heart opening. Visualize the energy, just a light, just spinning and opening that heart. The more your heart opens, the more you'll have vision, the more you'll see the truth. Because the heart, that's the real truth. What? Love. So open that and it'll make a big difference. I promise you.
Okay? Yeah, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Hi, Joni and everyone. Aloha. My name's Mei Lin. Can you hear me?
Yeah, perfectly.
Okay, awesome. I just wanted to introduce myself. And I just want to say it's such an honor to be here with you, Joni, and every single beautiful soul being that is joining us today. And I wanted to send so much love from my heart chakra to everybody's heart chakras. And being in the heart space is most definitely where we are as a collective right now, moving out of the mind, but still being in the mind, but operating from the heart. So I loved that heart meditation. I do a lot of heart work for the collective consciousness. And I just wanted to say that was spot on. And I wish everyone a happy and blissed Jupiter-Neptune conjunction. And I just wanted to suggest everyone to be near water. If you're blessed to be by the ocean, do a lot of walks by the ocean meditations, showers, swimming, baths, whatever you can do. That's going to be a very supportive, healing, clearing thing for everyone. And lastly, I just wanted to share, we were speaking about the ancestors, and I had this beautiful quote that I found that I just wanted to share with everyone. So it says, "You're never alone, even during what you think are your weakest moments. You have thousands of years of powerful ancestors within you, the blood of the divine great ones in you, supreme intellect and royalty in you. Infinite strength is always on tap for you. Know that." So I just thought that was very beautiful. And I just wanted everyone to know that and take that with them during this time.
That was magnificent. Really. Thank you for sharing that. Where did you read that out of? I think that is amazing.
Well, yeah, I found it online. It's a quote. I love quotes. That's all I like to do is encourage, uplift, support. And its author is unknown. So I don't know who, but we're all one. So maybe we all created that in togetherness.
Yeah, I mean, it said it so beautifully and poetically what I was trying to say with the ancestors.
Yeah,
So thank you for
that's what I asked when you were speaking. I asked for a quote to come up that I could find, and that was in alignment, divine alignment.
That's incredible. Wow,
Yeah,
we are all aligned here. This is fantastic. So one more thing before we close too. I had asked before we closed last week if anyone, I want to know if anybody had time to put together some kind of vision board or anything. And if anyone did, if they've had any experience or have had experience with it before.
I have one thing to say. It wasn't a vision board. I have used vision boards many a times, but I remember when we first moved to Hawaii, because I came here on a soul calling over 13 years ago. And I remember we were living in this little apartment and we started like a consignment furniture business, and we really needed a lot more space. We were working out of storage units and things like that. I was really listening a lot to Wayne Dyer, The Secret, all of those things. And I was very into manifestation and setting, intentions for abundance. And I remember we found this home that was like way out of our league at that time. Not for me, but my husband thought so. And it was just this beautiful 4-bedroom, 4-bath home, had marble floors. It was like, I don't know if anyone ever used to watch MTV Cribs. I don't know. It was a long time ago. It was one of my favorite shows. And I was like, this is like a totally MTV crib, and I printed it out and I posted it right in front of my husband's computer where we were working. It was like a shared space. And I'm like, we're going to get that house. We're going to get that house. Just keep saying, that's our home. That's our home, and all the other work that you do. But to make a long story short, we went to go look at it. And there was one more person that wanted the house. And we had the cash as far as a deposit. And my husband asked the man, my family really loves this house. My wife said, this is our house. She put it on top of our wall and said, this is our house. Can we, solidify this deal? And he gave us the house, and it was just so amazing. And we had none of us had, I grew up in, LA County and Southern California. He's from New York. And then we came here, like I said, on a soul calling, and we'd never lived anywhere like that before. And it was the most beautiful thing. And we used to wake up every morning, just be like, wow, this is amazing. I said, I told you this was our house. So, I mean, I've had a lot of stories like this that I can share, but that was just one of our first in Hawaii. That was really beautiful because we were almost homeless here in Hawaii. Like our money ran out quick when we came out here. It was a lot more expensive than we had thought and researched. And yeah, so it was a beautiful experience of manifestation.
I have a similar story, but I won't go into it today, but my story's almost exactly like that. And you know what? When you get to live in the house that is your dream house, you do wake up every day with this sense of gratitude, and all these good things keep coming to you because they say you're supposed to have gratitude when you have that beautiful,
very key,
beautiful, strong feeling of how grateful and joyful you are, and gratitude. I mean, every time I turned around, another good thing would happen. It multiplies it. So yes.
Thank you for mentioning gratitude, because that was a key component. When we were in New York at the time, him and we had bought the Secrets journal, the gratitude book, and we would write in it every day, something that we were grateful for in the present, and then something that we were grateful for that hadn't manifested yet, but we spoke as it was already manifested. And we did this together with our own individual things, and then some that were joined. And we did this throughout the whole time. And that is a huge key. Gratitude is one of the highest vibrations, right in alignment with love. So I just want everyone to remember that.
It is absolutely 100%. I'm glad this all came up and you spoke because
thank you.
Yes, because we can help everyone else here do the same thing. I've done it, and it was beyond my wildest dreams what I manifested, but that feeling of gratefulness, gratitude keeps it going.
Yes, that feeling. It has to be a vibrational match to what you're seeing and feeling and writing, because writing is very key as well, and speaking. So it's all in divine alignment, divine time and order. Yeah.
100% accurate. We're going to share more experiences with everyone so that everyone here will be sharing all their great gifts of how they manifested things through that emotion of gratitude and love. It's like, it's magical. And that's what Jupiter Neptune's supposed to be.
Yes, exactly.
Exactly. So
exciting. We need it. Yeah.
You guys are my vision board. How about that? I've manifested this.
Oh yeah, you're right. You needed a group where you could connect and people understood what you're thinking and feeling and all of the above. So true. Yes. How exciting. This is so much fun. Okay. Anyone else? We've got a few more minutes. I'm going to take it till the half hour, and we're And then, you know what? Before I forget, let's all think about what we're grateful for this week. That's going to be your homework. And watching movies too, having fun, lightening up. And next week, don't let me forget, I want to hear about some of the movies that you guys can recommend. I hope that some of y'all have seen the movies that I recommended. They're so old, you may not even be able to find them though. Anyway, one more comment or a couple of more. Go ahead. Well, has anybody seen the movies I recommended? You know, I used to do a article in my magazine, Astrologic Magazine, about movies to watch or movies. I do a little write up on movies, but I never had time to watch the movies, so I had to quit. But there was another movie that I love that I wrote about, and it's a really good feel good movie, and I bet a lot of you have seen it. Searching for Sugar. What is it? Sugarland or Searching for? It was a documentary, and it won the best documentary one year at the Academy Awards. But is it Searching for Sugarland or Searching for? Surely somebody knows what I'm talking about. It's a documentary about a guy who was kind of a has-been rock and roller, and he was poverty stricken. This is a true story. He was poverty stricken. You guys have to watch this documentary. Searching for Sugar Man. That's what it is. Searching for Sugar Man. Y'all watch that movie. I will not tell you about it. If you want to feel really good, watch that movie. And it is not about drugs. I told one of my girlfriends to watch it. She goes, I don't want to watch a drug addict. I said, it's not about a drug addict. Watch it and tell me.
It's free on Amazon right now on Prime.
Really? Really? Oh my God. Have you seen it?
No, I just looked it up, but it says it's free on like Amazon Prime.
Y'all watch that, and I guarantee you'll feel so good after that movie. I loved that movie, and I did a little write up on it in my magazine, and I got this talk back from a lot of people saying, "Oh my God, that movie was phenomenal!" And it's a documentary. I don't want to spoil it for you because when I watched it, I had no idea what it was about, and that made it 10 times better. Okay. Okay, so let's report on the movies next week, and I want everyone to do the gratitude. I know it's kind of like cliche. Everybody says, oh, you gotta, no, it works. Do it. And I want you to write down the things that you're grateful for and feel the emotion of the gratefulness and the gratitude for what you are grateful for. And the things that maybe you still want to manifest, you can put that in the present that you already have it, and how grateful you are, and feel the feeling and the emotion that goes along with that sense of deep, great gratitude. And let me just close with this. I am so grateful, and I feel such a great gratitude to every one of you for being here. And I sincerely mean that from the bottom of my heart. So let's stick together, and I want to get to know all of you. And we'll talk more next week, but maybe that we'll do it the week after, because I think Joe's going to be talking. When is the 19th is next week. So Joe's going to be talking, and Joe is all about manifestation and gratitude and all of that. And I think he's talking about his newest work. He's going to talk about that. So, every time he does something, he always outdoes himself at the next level, because he's always about growth and advancement. So we are having a big treat to listen to Joe Vitale next week. If you haven't heard him speak, he is flawless. flawless speaker. I actually took so many notes from watching him speak in order to perfect my speaking when I would speak publicly. Because we had this restaurant here in Dallas, and he came up and spoke a couple of times there. We used to have this a dinner night where you get a dinner and a lecture. And of course, I had nothing but metaphysical speakers, but it was fun. But Joe, oh my God, his speaking talents are impeccable. You're gonna love him. So don't miss next week, okay? I will see you guys next. I got so much to say to you guys. I'm sorry I talk so fast and I cover so much in such a short amount of time, but we'll cover everything. So gratitude, and I will see you next week. Watch movies, lighten up, have fun this week, okay? Thank you, everyone. Namaste.